Good morning and welcome into the Cowboys Report. Some breaking news to break down for you guys today. The Cowboys have hired Joe Whitt not to be their defensive coordinator, that's of course Dan Quinn, but instead to be the team's secondaries coach and passing game coordinator, of course on the defensive side of the ball. Whitt interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator position, apparently impressed everyone involved, including owner Jerry Jones, and now rejoins Quinn with the Dallas Cowboys. This past year, Joe Whitt was the passing game coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. The year before that, spent some time with Cleveland, and then was also in Green Bay. It appears to be the path for Mike McCarthy and this new Dan Quinn-focused defensive coaching staff is they do want some semblance of familiarity and to have a better relationship amongst all the coaches. It sounds to me like maybe at times last year, due in part to the giant busted coverages that kept happening, there wasn't the best cohesion on that side of the football. I'm fine with this hire. I know there are some meltdowns on Twitter because the Falcons' passing defense was bad, although that was a volume thing. And if you look at the level of competition, it's okay too. Remember, guys, you're not hiring from the full available hiring pool. Your options here in terms of who you're going to get are either coaches who have been fired. Remember, Joe Whitt technically had to get permission from the Falcons to take this job because he's technically under contract until the new staff comes into place, but he wasn't going to be retained, so the Falcons were like, yeah, sure, it's fine. Other fired coaches or college guys, because everyone on an NFL staff right now, it's not an upgrade. You could go hire a different secondaries coach, but the team could block that. So it's not like you're operating from a wide swath of available options. You don't have a lot of clear-cut oh, yeah, let's just hire this team's secondary coach. They're not going to let them leave. So keep that in mind. And remember, players like Joe Whitt a lot. I think that should at least be factored in here. So grade the hiring for me of Joe Whitt as the Cowboys' new passing game coordinator and secondaries coach. I am fine with this. Is it an A hire? No, probably not, but I think it'll work. I think it should matter that a bunch of his former Packer players, including Charles Woodson, love him. So get your votes in here. Grade this hiring for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Now, I do want to focus on this part here. Again, Dan Quinn's going to run the front. He's going to run the defense overall. Joe Whitt will be his number 2 in this defensive scheme. What is going to be most important in the end, though, you got to upgrade the players. I would argue, especially at the cornerback position, the Cowboys actually have more talent than what Atlanta did because they had A.J. Terrell last year and then all their safeties got hurt. They were not in great position in that back end. But if you don't upgrade the players, it's not going to matter who you hire. The success of a defensive coordinator, the perceived value of a defensive assistant is tied directly into, okay, well, how good are their players? If you're dealing with a bunch of rotational guys as your key starters and your high-paid guys like Dante Fowler aren't playing well, I mean, you're just not going to have any success at all. So, yeah, I'm fine with this hire. I think he'll be good, but you got to upgrade the coaches, man. Or the players, excuse me. If you don't get better players on this roster, you could have 5 Bill Belichick's coaching all the levels of your defense, and it probably still wouldn't actually be that great. So I'm fine with the Joe Whitt hire. His former players kind of swear by him, especially Charles Woodson, Sam Shields liked him as well. But again, upgrading those players, it's kind of important right there. Now, today's show is made possible by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on your screen. That is Cowboys125. That way, you got plenty of extra money to bet on. And let's say you get a couple playoff games wrong, whatever. You can use your deposit bonus to bet big money on, say, Alabama to win the national title, like I did. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code Cowboys125. Now, Joe Whitt's previous jobs are, well, heavily tied into the current coaches on this Dallas Cowboys staff, right? Spent a lot of time in Green Bay under Mike McCarthy, was with the Browns for 1 year, was rumored to be in the running to get the Cowboys defensive coordinator job when McCarthy first took over. That did not happen. Now he comes in as a passing game coordinator, same role he held for the Atlanta Falcons. And I will make note, by the way, a little bit less pure cover 3 with Joe Whitt in Atlanta relative to the pure Dan Quinn focus schemes previously with the Falcons. In the end, again, this is a natural promotion for somebody, right? And I think having some cohesion between your head coach and your DC, I'm fine with that. I think that is okay. Remember, the way the NFL hiring system works, and I don't always like it, but they hire their buddies. That's the way they often operate because there's a pre-existing relationship there. Having one between both the head coach and the defensive coordinator makes him a logical fit. If he sucks, well, he sucks. At least you tried something different. Honestly, I'd prefer Joe Whitt to Chris Richard, straight up. So what is your one-word reaction to the hiring of Joe Whitt? Are you hyped? Are you meh about it? Are you fine with it like I more or less am? Let me know in the comments section what your one-word reaction to the hiring of Joe Whitt is. Now, with Whitt coming on, I say that five times fast, there are going to be some more defensive coaching changes, though the buzz from Brian Broaddus is Maurice Linguist, who's part of the dual defensive backs coach role last year, could be on his way out. There's some whispers out there that he's currently searching for a college job, so Linguist might be out. However, Al Harris, well, he might stick around. That's the buzz right now from Brian Broaddus. So those are both of the Cowboys' defensive backs coach last year. Remember, they had two of them, and there was no passing game coordinator. It was all just kind of a little bit weird. I'm, again, fine with that. I think in reality, the what we know about hiring defensive coaches, so much of it is based on what they did previously, but also it's a different role, and it's also tied into talent. I think in the end, when it comes to the NFL's viewpoint of it, what matters a lot is how they interview. Apparently, Joe Whitt did a fantastic job in his interview. Now, whatever the Cowboys end up doing when it comes to coaching staff moves and, of course, drafted and free agency stuff, we'll keep you guys covered. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way you don't miss out on anything going on around America's team. If you're watching on Facebook or whatever, it's youtube.com/CowboysTV, a new URL. One other note I wanted to make here briefly to wrap up today's show. The defensive line coach, that is currently unfilled. You have, of course, Leon Lett as the assistant defensive line coach, but former LA D-line coach Giff Smith, weird name, but that's his name, Giff Smith, maybe awesome name too, is set to interview today for that position. Now, technically, he's not really a Dan Quinn disciple, but he worked under Gus Bradley, who runs a very similar scheme. The front's going to be very similar there. I feel pretty confident saying Gus Bradley and Dan Quinn have spoken about Giff Smith in the past, that he probably has a good feel for him there. So not directly attached, but more tangential relationship right there. We'll see what else the Cowboys end up doing when it comes to the coaching staff on defense. Some more changes probably still coming, but the big one today, Joe Whitt is in as the team's new secondary and defensive passing game coordinator.